of my 16 weeks of health program. We just continue where we left off because obviously I finished week 1 actually yesterday, but I had no time to film it. So I did that just a few minutes ago. But now I thought we can start planning the next week, week 2. So for this week, they asked me for 3 weekly objectives. And the first one is the same as last week. It is training 3 times a week, which I've already booked. So I think that will work really well. Then I wrote down that this time at the personal development school, I want to work on shadows. I don't know if you know a bit about that. I'm not really into it yet. So I'm really curious what this is all about. But the title of the course is called Overcoming Unworthiness by Understanding and Accepting Your Shadow. Actually, I have a book that is called The Dark Side of the Light Choosers. I see it just in my bookshelf, and that title is so woo-woo, but I remember that I really liked it. I didn't finish it, I think, last time I read it like 2 or 3 years ago, so that's probably will be on my reading list soon. And the third objective is to work on my loving parent practice. If you have never heard about that, it is actually something I would say I made up. It comes from the idea of reparenting your inner child. So what I usually do is I write kind of like a letter to myself from the perspective of a very loving parent. How would a very loving parent talk to me in these situations? And it can be positive ones and it can be negative ones, which usually are the ones where I need it most. So I really want to practice on doing this journaling format because it really helps me a lot. I also see the more I do it in writing, the more I actually do it in my head. I definitely can see I talk so much more kinder to myself. So that's a big win. Yeah, and with that, I just planned out my workouts for this week. And so I already went on my daily planning for today. It's already in the afternoon. I haven't edited the previous video, so that's my plan for today. I also have a call with my friend Melina, but otherwise I don't have many plans. I probably have to make dinner at one point, but so I think I will just get started with editing. I actually made myself a tea, although it starts to get a bit warmer here in Norway, so I think it won't be long and I'm not drinking tea but iced tea instead. I'm definitely like just a tea person in winter, and otherwise I don't enjoy it that much, but I definitely had to try this one, which is called Himmelszauber. Maybe you could call it Magical Heaven. I don't know if that would be the perfect translation, but something like that. Week 2 on my 16 weeks of health has been very, very tough. You see I'm not wearing makeup because I'm almost starting on crying again. There was a lot happening because at the end of week 1 I started to get pain in my left shoulder. I got it checked up by a doctor, and it was not a big deal. He just said I probably have to take a pause from training until it's better. And so I almost didn't train this week. I just went for walks because the training that I usually do is usually a full body workout with dancing or step classes and weights, and it's tricky to avoid training your shoulders in these type of workouts, so I just did that. But then in addition, I also realized I didn't want to continue to pursue a weight loss goal. Yeah, I definitely would like to lose weight, but I just don't want to do it in the way I've been doing it. I've been listening to a lot of intuitive eating podcasts and came to the conclusion that I reached a diet rock bottom in a way, and that I just can't continue the way I did, and I do not want to. I also feel with all the work I'm doing in my attachment style healing journey, I just feel like being restrictive on my eating is just not kind to my body, and I just knew I couldn't do it anymore. Obviously, the way I am, I would love to jump into the next thing, like doing an intuitive eating course or anything like that. And I also talked about that in the beginning of on my first video with the best self journal, that I might want to pursue intuitive eating, and that's something I've decided I will change my third goal in this book. But I do not want to do a course on anything. I have read the intuitive eating book, and I ordered the workbook, which is quite a good companion, I think, with a lot of like exercises and journaling prompts, and I think that will help. But I think I will definitely do a little bit more looser, and I'll just see how much time I will invest that. I haven't really figured that out, because now when I'm working on learning something, I'm still at the personal development school doing courses there, and I just don't want to overwhelm myself with too much, because obviously I've learned from the past it often just gets too much. And then on top of that, I found out that I have a friend who's not in good condition at the moment, and for a while I was the only one who knew about that. It was really tough. I cried a lot this week, not knowing how to do it correctly, how to be a good friend, knowing my role in this. I also was very scared, very worried. I definitely could see it at work. I wasn't as productive as usual, which is okay. I mean, you don't have these weeks every week, hopefully. But I felt very lost. I was a lot of in my thoughts. I cried a lot, which I think is actually a good thing. I mean, crying helps so much to release emotions, and I think we all should cry more. And I also want to share these dark moments with you here on camera, although it's not so much fun, is mostly because I feel like social media has a tendency to just show the good parts and share when you're happy, and that's just not always the case. And it's also important, how do we take care of ourselves when we are not in good conditions. I also see that I have changed in my healing journey, that before I would rely almost just on getting help from others, like calling somebody, talking to a lot of people, hoping that they will help me regulate my emotions. And now I felt way more that I could do that also by myself. Although it was a really tough week, I worked a lot on doing my loving parent practice. And I think that helped a lot to figuring out what to do, finding the next steps. I also had a lot of support from my closest friends. I'm really, really thankful for that. Also that I could call them and they would call me back if I didn't manage to reach them. And shows me again that I'm very, very grateful for the friends I have. And then when I felt more regulated, I was also able to be there for my friend, which I think was the most important thing for this week. Everything else was just not... I mean, I couldn't train. I dismissed my weight loss goal and decided on a new goal. And the only thing I actually really did was to work a lot on my mental health and taking care of myself. And I think that was the focus for this week, and I did really good in that. What I really like about the Best Self journal is the weekly review, to really look at how did the whole week went down. And just seeing the highs, lows, and also special moments and have them captured, and also getting reminded that yes, this was a tough week, but there still were positive things. For me was to learn a new recipe from a colleague. We tried a like Asian inspired salmon dish, and it was so good. I really, really liked it. And she used ingredients that I usually don't use, like fish sauce, which I have never used in my life before. So I definitely have to buy that now because I really want to make that dish again. I also see that I have improved my habits. Actually, last week I was at 52% of the habits that I had planned on. At the moment, I have 4 habits that I work on because I switched out the discovery worksheet, working on writing down when I have had an overeat. I took that out and decided I would just still track how much fruit and veggies I eat because I feel like that is working really well. So I had that. I had working on courses in the personal development school, do my loving parent practice journaling, and then trying to work out 3 times a week. And for this week I managed 57% of that, and very proud of that. I think I could have done more loving parent practices, but I won't be hard on myself. It was a really tough week, so I did it 4 times, and I think that is amazing. When I look at what was the best thing of this week, I mean, it's mostly that a lot of people care and check in with me. Absolutely grateful for that. But also knowing that a friend feels comfortable to share something very vulnerable with me makes me very happy. It shows a lot of trust that this person has, and very grateful for that as well. I also did my morning routine actually 7 times this week, so that is amazing. And yeah, not much training, not much what I had planned. But yeah, that was week 2. I really hope that week 3 is emotionally a bit less up and down, a little bit more stable. And then I also hope that I can go back to training. That's really crossing fingers. I'm really crossing fingers for that, so yeah. With that said, thank you for joining me for today, and I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Take care of your loved ones. You never know what they go through, and tell them that you love them.